Hello everyone, my name is Valent and this is Hoca Talk, a weekly podcast series on both YouTube and Spotify. If you missed last week's episode where I talked about all things games, then no need to worry about it because a link will be in the description below, so feel free to check that out before you listen to this episode or after it. The choice is yours. To ensure you don't miss any further episodes of Hoca Talk, including this one, be sure to click on the bell on the video on YouTube and you'll always get a notification then whenever I upload a new episode, because I had a few people come to me, as I said last week and before that probably as well, saying that my videos aren't appearing in their sub boxes, so that is just a way to get around it. But with that being said, first of all, thank you to all the love, and I know I repeat myself every single week, but to all the love shown on all the videos, including last week's one. It means so much to me and I really can't put it into words, all the lovely messages that I've been getting from people that I know, so honestly, it's priceless for me, and the more messages like this people send me, the more I'm going to keep wanting to make these. So for everyone who's liked the videos and so on, subscribed to the channel, shared it with their family and friends, you are all legends in my eyes, and I really can't thank you enough. So hats off to you all, and diolch yn fawr, because I support Wales, and let's add a bit of Welsh to an already international podcast, because we've spoken Welsh before, and I think Spanish too, so there we are, why the hell not? So, Euro 2020, as I'm sure everyone knows, if you're a football fan, then you definitely will, but if you don't, I've just told you, so you learn something new every day, as they say. Starts on Friday at the time of you listening to this, which is, on the day even, is Tuesday. I'll be running through groups A to F, just who's in what group and so on, matches I'm looking forward to, a few grabs I want to talk about, which my brother will definitely know what's coming up very shortly. He was meant to come on today's episode, but something came up, so he'll be coming on sometime soon, so it's not the end of the world. I didn't want to stop me though from making another episode today, because it's the only time I have free this week, because I'll be working, but it is what it is. As long as I make an episode a week, then that's all that matters to me. So after that then, I'll be talking about players I'm looking forward to watching from each team. Obviously I'll also mention honourable mentions too. And I'll also talk about kits that I'm looking forward to seeing on the pitch. And much more. So look forward to that. And I'll also be showing on the screen, if you're watching the video on YouTube, and the links will be in the description below to the kits I'm talking about, just so you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, Group A then has Italy, Switzerland, Turkey and Wales, and I believe it is Italy and Turkey who kick off the tournament at 8 o'clock on Friday, so that will be a nice matchup to get things going. I'm looking forward to the Turkey-Wales game. I have said this already, I think I said it last week. Obviously my dad's from Turkey and we go there a lot to see my family, but I'm sorry to any Turkish fans that were hoping that I'd be saying that I'm going to be supporting Turkey, but you know, my heart is with Wales. I was born in Wales, as I have mentioned previously, and you might be able to tell. So I'll be supporting Wales that day. I think the game's on June the 16th, and I'm not working, so roll on June the 16th, which I think is next Wednesday. I also wanted to mention, if you hear any background noise, I can only apologise. I need to buy a pop filter for my microphone, because when I listen back to the videos, I can hear traffic in the background and so on. So hopefully whenever I upload next, I'll have a pop filter on the microphone so you don't hear as much background noise as you might be picking up. So, like I said, for now, at least, I can only apologise. But, with that being said, Group B then has Belgium, Denmark, Finland and Russia in it. Group C, Austria, Netherlands, North Macedonia, who will be going to their first ever major tournament, so props to them. Ukraine. And then Group D, Croatia, Czech Republic, England, Scotland, and it is the first time in 23 years that Scotland will be gracing the international stage, so that's nice for them, captained by obviously Liverpool's Andy Robertson, I do believe. Group E has Poland, Slovakia, Spain and Sweden, and as I mentioned towards the end of last week's episode of Hoca Talk, Group F has what I believe is the group of death really, France, Germany, Hungary and Portugal. Many people thinking that Hungary are going to be finishing bottom of that group, but you never know, stranger things have happened. So, I wanted to talk about, first of all, obviously I'm going to be supporting Wales from start to finish, however long they go on in this tournament. Rob Page, who is basically standing in for Ryan Giggs, he's got some things going on in his personal life that I'm not going to discuss today and right now. I'm sure anyone who follows football and so on will know what's going on with him at the moment. Is basically being replaced, for now at least, and however long, by Rob Page. Rob Page hasn't called up Will Vaulks, who plays for Cardiff. Now, okay, you might say I'm being biased by talking about one of Cardiff's players, but he had a really good season for us. Okay, we didn't make the playoffs and so on. We're stuck in the championship for another season, but Volks has been attracting attention from Premier League clubs like Norwich, who got obviously promoted. They won the league and will be playing in the Premier League next season. And they've been offering, I've heard, or will be, for rumours, whether you can believe them or not, I don't know, about 7 million to Cardiff to try and sign Volks. And if you don't pick a player like that, clearly there's something about him because he's being watched by Premier League clubs and so on. Norwich wouldn't be interested in him for the fun of it, So that's what I mean when I was talking about I have a few bones to pick and so on, because I really think the Volks should be picked, and should be picked over players like Johnny Williams, who was playing for Cardiff but has since been released for whatever reason. I don't even know why we really signed him, but we're not here to talk about that today. I'm going to talk about that in a whole other episode dedicated entirely to Cardiff. But yeah, he's played like 2 games all season for Cardiff, and the fact that Volks isn't in the team before him, who pretty much played 9 times out of 10 every single week, I don't know. It's a shame for Volks, but I guess when it comes to the midfielders, the Wales have already got like Bale, Dan James, Harry Wilson, then you can kind of see why he hasn't been picked. But I don't know, I just think that over players like Dylan Levis and Joe Morrell, I think Volks would have been a better pick. But, who am I to judge? I mean, obviously, maybe something happened behind closed doors that we don't know at the moment, which would explain why Volks hasn't been picked. But, yeah, I just think he should have. And a lot of people, Cardiff fans especially, obviously, do feel that Volks has been robbed, and I really think he has. But from Volks, I wanted to say this is a big opportunity for Ruben Colwill. I think he's only 17 or 18. I did mention him a few weeks ago at the end of one of the podcasts. He's been picked, and this will be his first major tournament, and this is a big opportunity, really, for him to showcase to the world, or to Europe, I guess, at least, what he can do, because he put in a really good number of performances at the end of this season just then, where he managed to lock down a starting place. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Colwill can do, if he gets any game time at all. You'd imagine he would. Will he be starting? I don't know, but yeah, it's a big opportunity for the young man, and I hope that he can show the whole world what he's been treating Cardiff fans to. So obviously a shame for Volks, but it's nice to see a couple of Cardiff players in that team that have been called up, such as Kiefer Moore as well, who might be leaving the club this summer, but I really hope he doesn't. But my brother and I talked about that when we talked about all things NBAF and football a few weeks ago. So players to watch, like I said, I'm going to be running through every single one of the nations appearing at the tournament, and just players that play for those teams that I think are players to watch. And if you disagree with me, by all means, that's okay, because you're entitled to your opinion, and just let me know what players you're looking forward to watching as well, and matchups that you're looking forward to seeing. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. If you disagree with me, then that is okay. So for Italy, I think the standout player, in terms of my opinion at least, is Federico Chiesa, who I think plays for Juventus on loan. He might have signed permanently from maybe Fiorentina. But yeah, Chiesa, this season just gone, obviously Juventus had a bit of an underwhelming season. I think they only finished 4th and have since sacked their player and then turned manager Andrea Pirlo and brought in Allegri again. Massimo Allegri, I think his first name is. But yeah, Chiesa had a really good season for what was an underwhelming Juventus side, really. 13 goals in 10 games? No, 13 goals and 10 assists across the season, and this will be his first appearance at a major tournament for Italy. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Chiesa can do, and whenever I watch Juventus play, he would always put in a hell of a shift. So first chance for him, just like Colwill, I guess, to showcase what he can do, and showcase the form that he was showing for Juventus in the Serie A last season. Or this season, you know what I mean. Switzerland up next, and I think the player that came to mind straight away for me was Borussia Mönchengladbach's, or Gladbach's, or if you want me to shorten it down, centre defensive midfielder. I think he plays there at least, on FIFA he does. Dennis Zakaria, whose form has drawn attention actually from Premier League clubs like Manchester City, Arsenal and Chelsea. So, like I said with Volks, who was attracting attention from Norwich, you don't attract that attention for the sake of attracting that attention. So Zakaria is a big man, strong, quick, definitely will be key to Switzerland closing games out, should they be in front in like the 85th minute, using his strength and pace. So looking forward to seeing Zakaria play. If you can hear me turning the pages over, this used to be, I guess, an unscripted podcast, but I do make a few notes now, so that's why you're hearing me turn the page just then. For Turkey, I think it would be easy to say Burak Yilmaz after Lille won the title last season, and I mean he was a revelation after he joined. I think from, was it Besiktas maybe? He joined the French outfit, and obviously congratulations to them for pipping PSG to the title. And I know they got a few Turkish players Lille have, Zeki Çelik and Yusuf Yazıcı. But actually, no, I'm not going to say Burak Yilmaz, who is in the form of his life. And it's worth also mentioning that, he's 35, but still, he's playing like he's 10 years younger. So fair play to him. And I think Turkey are definitely going to have a good tournament. And I'm looking forward to, as I've already said, them taking on Wales on the 16th of this month. The player that I think is going to stand out in that team, however, depending on how much game time he has, I'm not sure, is Orkun Kokcu, I think his surname is. He made his debut for Feyenoord when he was 17 and he's now 20. And just like Zakaria, he's been linked with Premier League clubs, such as in Orkun's case, Leicester, Arsenal and Tottenham. So the 17-year-old, making his debut, well, he was 17 when he made his debut, has definitely been one of the stand-up performers for Feyenoord in the Eredivisie. Not a league I watch too often, but whenever I watched him, you could always tell he's a big-name player. He can make a difference, whether he's starting or coming off the bench. So, yeah, I think definitely in terms of the Turkish side, Orkun Kokcu for this summer's Euros is definitely one to watch, and he's been linked to Leicester, Arsenal and Tottenham, so that kind of speaks for itself, doesn't it? And to end off Group A, Gareth Bale. I mean, who else? There was an array of players I could have chosen from even, to use correct English. Ruben Colwill, obviously, is an honourable mention, but I feel when it comes to Gareth Bale, he always performs best when he wears the Welsh jersey. Obviously, he had a bit of an underwhelming season at Tottenham. He scored a couple goals here and there. I'm sure Tottenham fans would probably disagree with me and say he had a good season. But I think he's gone back to Real Madrid now, and he might actually, I've heard, and again, it's only rumours, so can you believe it? Who knows? But he might be retiring after the Euros, so he'll definitely be hoping, if this is his last hurrah, that he goes out with a bang. But I always love watching Wales, of course I do, but Bale always gives 110%, especially when it comes to playing for his country. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do up against Italy, Switzerland and Turkey. And hopefully on from that if Wales get out of the group. But it is a tough group, so you don't know. But I think the third best placed teams even will also qualify for the next stage of the competition. Something like that anyway. But that is Group A over and done with. Now we're going to get on to Group B, which obviously has Belgium, Denmark, Finland and Russia. I wanted to start off then by talking about Belgium. And I think the stand-up player, I could say Kevin De Bruyne, and I'm sure many people would be expecting me to say that, or maybe Yuri Tillemans, but I think for me is Romelu Lukaku. And Lukaku, after leaving what can only really be described as the pressure cooker that is Old Trafford, Trafford even, Lukaku has been in the best form of his career, and obviously he was a key part of Inter winning their first Serie A title in 11 years. With Antonio Conte, who recently left the club and was actually due to take over at Tottenham, but I think something happened at the final hurdle and he won't be taking over now. But that doesn't matter, obviously. Gutting for Spurs fans, but it is what it is. They're used to disappointment, aren't they? Lukaku's been lethal in front of goal. He scored 30 goals in all competitions this season and created 10 assists for his teammates. And when you think about the players that he's going to be playing around, the likes of De Bruyne, who I think will be missing the opening game, I think against Russia, because he had a bit of an injury from the Champions League final where Manchester City beat Chelsea. So, Chelsea beat Manchester City even. Sorry, Manchester City fans, to give you a bit of hope there, but no, Chelsea did one over the Manchester club, who were aiming to win the quadruple, but that kind of really fell apart, didn't it? Playing with the likes of De Bruyne and Tillemans, I think will definitely help Lukaku in his search for the Euro Golden Boots. So, definitely in terms of the Belgian squad, Lukaku was one to watch. And he was a key part of Inter winning their first title. So fun to watch him play. He's strong. He knows how to hold the ball well, good in the air, and as I said, 30 goals in all competitions this season and creating 10 assists. The man is lethal in front of goal and knows how to pick out a pass. And I think him leaving Manchester United was definitely a wise decision for him and a good move for his career. Denmark up next, and the stand-up player for me, in terms of the Danish squad, has to be Kasper Schmeichel. Much like his father, obviously, Peter. He's an elite shot-stopper who is guaranteed a starting goal for Denmark. I'd be very surprised if he doesn't start and isn't a captain. He's like one of their best players, if not the best, alongside Christian Eriksen and players like that. Following what has been another successful season, I think, for Leicester, Schmeichel will be looking to impress in what will be his Euro debut. The only other experience he kind of has under his belt was at the World Cup in 2018, where he kept only 2 clean sheets. So I think he'll be hoping for more, especially against, no offence to them, but Finland and Russia. Although, you never know what's going to happen with football, do you? That's the beauty of it. It's hard to predict. But definitely Kasper Schmeichel. Leicester obviously won the FA Cup final, and he made 2 cracking saves at the end of the game, I think, to deny Chelsea from scoring. So I'm glad to see. As a neutral, obviously, but Leicester get one over on Chelsea, especially after Chilwell scored, and obviously he used to play for Leicester, but the goal even was ruled out by VAR, and he kind of went crazy, and, well, the Leicester fans made sure to remember, did remember even him going crazy, and they let him know, if you know what I mean. Finland up next, and one of the first names on the team sheet for Rangers this season in their invincible season, so congratulations to them and Steven Gerrard, is Glenn Kamara, and I think Glenn Kamara is one to watch for the Finns this Euros and this summer. 25-year-old, he's been an outstanding performer whenever I've seen him play for his club and country, and it obviously was a major part for them qualifying for the Euros, which they obviously did. His impressive displays for both Finland and Rangers, like I said, has also seen him linked with the club he used to be at before he joined Rangers, I believe, which was Arsenal, the North London club, who definitely need a revamp, but they've kind of been needing a revamp for a while, haven't they? More exceptional performances on the international stage for Glenn Kamara could definitely see him attract more suitors than just Arsenal at the minute, because as a player you want so many clubs all chasing your signature, don't you, rather than just the one, so you're left spoiled with choice, aren't you? But yeah, definitely Glenn Kamara, who was subject to obviously that racial incident with Andrzej Kudela for Slavia Prague, who I think should have been kicked out of the Europa League for his actions, but they didn't. And Kamara also got banned, which I'm trying to get my head around. But yeah, I'm glad that Kudela's been banned for the 10 games, but we're not going to be talking about that anymore than I need to. I'm looking forward to seeing Kamara play for Finland, as I have done whenever I watch Rangers. Russia up next, as we round off Group B. And who else can I talk about apart from the veteran striker, Artem Dzyuba? He has scored 29 times in 50 appearances for his country, which is a decent return, if you ask me. And at the age of 32, you think, players are getting towards the back end of their career, but not Dzyuba. From what I've seen, he has no signs of, or showing no signs even of wanting to slow down, and has 22 goals in the Russian Premier League. I think that's what it's called anyway, for Zenit in his homeland this season, which is another very good return as well, and he will be hoping to become his country's all-time top goal scorer if he continues to find the net at the tournaments. So, with that incentive on the line, as it were, to kind of be an icon, or even though he basically already is, you can definitely see him winning a lot of aerial duels in the air, because I think he's definitely like 6'4" or 5. But yeah, Dzyuba, a veteran of the Russian national team, and definitely my standout player to watch for when it comes to Russia. Group C now then, which obviously has Austria, Netherlands, North Macedonia and Ukraine in it. And for Austria to start things off, the standout player is RB Leipzig's, for me anyway, Marcel Sabitzer, or it's not Sabitizer. Why did I go to say Sabitizer? My brother used to call him Sabitizer. I'm pretty sure it's Sabitzer. I do apologise even if I pronounce any names incorrectly, if any Austrians are listening or fans of Sabitzer. But yeah, the RB Leipzig's midfield talisman was one of the star performers in the Bundesliga this season. I think Leipzig finished second behind Bayern, so you've got to start somewhere, and that's a very good return for the German outfit there. And he'll be looking to continue his good form during the Euros, carry it on from obviously the Bundesliga to the national side and the tournament this summer. He'll definitely be relied upon by Austria when it comes to dominating possession, especially against tough opposition such as the Netherlands. Although, without Van Dijk, will he really be as strong as people were expecting him to be? Who knows, time will tell. Van Dijk, who ruled himself out of the tournament, I think a couple of weeks back, as he continues his recovery following that on purpose even injury that Pickford did to him. And come on, everyone knows that Pickford did that on purpose. There's no need to really debate that. So Sabitzer definitely. And speaking of the Austrian midfielder himself as well, both Tottenham and Roma are interested in the 27-year-old. And solid performance on the international stage, should he be wanting to leave Leipzig, will definitely help when it comes to sealing a move away from Germany. Whether he wants to or not, who knows? Leipzig obviously are in the Champions League again, so yeah, you never know. The Netherlands up next. Memphis Depay, definitely going to be the standout performer for me. The Manchester United flop, and not that I like to call players flops, but he pretty much was one. I think a lot of that was because of the pressure of having a number 7 shirt. Obviously, one that was worn by Ronaldo, and players like that at the club didn't help because that's a big number to wear, especially for Manchester United. But he's now seen as one of the top players in Ligue 1 and for Lyon, and is a transfer target for Ronald Koeman's Barcelona. Whether he'll be joining them this summer remains to be seen. But he's had another exceptional season for Lyon. I think finished 4th or 5th maybe. They were kind of in the running for the title, but kind of fell away at the end. But Depay himself scored 22 goals and assisted 12 in 40 games, which is a very good return, obviously. And he once again impressed for the Netherlands when he scored 2 goals in a 2-2 draw against Scotland earlier this month. And the Dutch manager, obviously Frank de Boer, will definitely be relying on the forwards and be a main goal threat for the Orange, as they call them in the Netherlands, I believe. So yeah, Depay when it comes to my stand-up player for the Dutch. Up next, North Macedonia, their first ever tournament. Like Russia, I mean, the stand-up player has to be Goran Pandev. Pandev is considered, as I'm sure many Macedonians will know, one of the greatest Macedonian players of all time, as well as being the nation's top goal scorer. And the living legend's goal against Georgia gave his country the win that saw them grab an unlikely spot in the Euros. So yeah, it was unlikely to see North Macedonia qualify, but Pandev's goal against Georgia sealed their spot in the Euros, so congratulations to them. And it'd be nice to see an underdog like them surprise and ruffle a few feathers in the tournament, but you never know. Football is unpredictable at best. Pandev has already had a team actually in his native North Macedonia named after him, and a surprise run in the tournament for North Macedonia, could make him an even bigger icon than he already is. But I think if I had said anyone else, I know obviously there's Alioski from Leeds, but when it comes to stand-up players from Macedonia, I know he's well into his 30s now, I believe, but it has to be Goran Pandev. So, up next, rounding off Group C, I'll be talking about Ukraine stand-up player, and for me that is Ruslan Malinovsky. I'm not sure I said his first name right, but I think I have said Malinovsky right. Anyway, he is a mainstay in Atalanta's eye-catching side, and Atalanta, if you ever watched them, especially in Serie A, are always a fun team to watch. They score goals for fun. Don't keep many clean sheets, but they still have a very good finish. I think they were in the top 5. So yeah, the team from Bergamo, I think, is where they're based in Italy, had a very good season, and Malinovsky was a part of that, and the reason why. The dynamic midfielder is seen to be a key member of the yellow and blue squad, and I definitely think that Ukraine even are a team that shouldn't be underestimated in this summer's Euros. What I like about Malinovsky is his ability to create space and retain possession, which I think will be crucial when it comes to making Andriy Shevchenko's side tick. The obviously former Chelsea player, among other clubs, is and a manager of his native Ukraine. Malinovsky has also been proven to be quite the goal threat from midfield, having found the net 6 times across 33 outings for Atalanta in the Serie A this season. So definitely one to watch for, in, like I said, a Ukraine side that could definitely ruffle a few feathers, to say the least. Malinovsky, that is. Up next then, as we make our way to Group D, Croatia, and the stand-up player for me will be Ivan Perisic, I think. So following the retirement, obviously, of their reliable striker Mario Mandzukic, from international duty, that is, Croatia now, from what I've been seeing, and as far as I know, use Perisic as their most advanced forward. And although he has predominantly played as a wing-back this season for Inter Milan, obviously that's where Conte wanted to play him, the Croatian is still the most prolific goal scorer for his country, which yeah, when you got that experience behind you and under your belt, you definitely want to watch, I think. And the Serie A title winner, obviously playing for Inter, played a key role in helping Croatia reach the 2018 World Cup final against France, which obviously they lost, unfortunately for them. But Perisic will be looking to replicate that feat this summer, and he's got big boots to fill, obviously, following the retirement from international duty, that is, again, of Mario Mandzukic. Up next in the Czech Republic, and who else but the potato salad merchant himself for West Ham, Thomas Souček, or Souček, however you pronounce his name. He was obviously recruited at the start of the season for West Ham following an impressive loan spell on loan from Slavia Prague, was it? And they decided to make the deal permanent for him. And he is a bit of a fan favourite when it comes to West Ham fans at the London Stadium. The gigantic midfielder has become a dominating presence in midfield whilst proving to be a startling offensive presence in the air. And I was surprised, actually, watching the match today and so on, the number of goals that Souček helped out with and scored. So definitely want to watch for the Czechs in what is, a bit of a tough group, to be fair. So yeah, want to watch Souček is. I say tough group, Croatia, they got to the World Cup final in 2018, didn't they? England, obviously, who many will probably be expecting to top the group. But and then obviously Scotland as well, can't forget about them. Scotland up next. England then. Then we'll be talking about Scotland. England, you could say how all different kinds of players for England to be the standout. But for me, and it was a shame to see that Trent Alexander-Arnold had to drop out because of an injury, but he was replaced by Ben White for Brighton, who had a good season, his first proper season with them, following his loan spell with Leeds the season before. I do feel that players like Ollie Watkins and Jesse Lingard were robbed, but hey, it's up to Southgate, isn't it? He wanted to go for Ben White, so Ben White it is, I guess. Phil Foden I'm going to go with. In the same vein as Rooney did in Euro 2004, Gascoigne in Euro 1996. Obviously, those are two big characters and stars. Foden definitely has the potential, I feel, to be the real breakout star of the tournament, and the youngster's already proved himself to be the ready-made replacement for the Manchester City legend now playing for Sociedad in La Liga, I believe. David Silva, after a very stellar season, to say the least, under Guardiola. And if Southgate wants to bring football home, I obviously hope it doesn't come home with England at least, but he will need a 21-year-old to be at his best, and rocking that Gaza-style haircut that I've seen on his Instagram and stuff, maybe that'll be got some good luck for him, who knows. And to round off then, finally now, Group D, we'll be talking about Billy Gilmour. He showed in his half-hour cameo in a friendly win over Luxembourg, I think earlier on this month, exactly what he's all about, and there's a Tartan army clamour for him to start. I believe that's what the Scottish fans are called. And obviously this is their first tournament in 23 years, so they're going to be hoping it's a good one. Gilmour may be the unknown quality in midfield of Scotland have been looking for, and from what I saw of him, when he's played and had cameo appearances for Chelsea this season, he's definitely worth taking a gamble on. I definitely wouldn't mind Cardiff bringing him in on loan, that's for sure. During his sporadic appearances, as I said, the youngster's always impressed and is buzzing with confidence, especially after picking up a Champions League winners' medal. So definitely want to watch that for Scotland. Obviously, there's Andy Robertson as well, but in terms of the future, young Billy Gilmour, for me, is the one I decided to go for. Now, the penultimate group then, featuring Poland, Slovakia, Spain and Sweden. Robert Lewandowski for Poland, to start things off. How could I not say him? Arguably the deadliest striker in the world right now. Will be looking to continue his outstanding form during the Euros. Obviously, he won the first European Golden Boot last season, or this season, or however you want to look at it, after breaking Gerd Muller's 49-year Bundesliga goal-scoring record, and a 32-year-old's tally of 48 for Bayern Munich this season makes him the favourite to top the goal-scoring charts at this summer's Euros. And the fact that there was no Ballon d'Or, I think, was it this year or last year? Lewandowski was robbed. It should have been held, and he should have been the one picking it up. But he's definitely going to be one to watch out for, especially in that Polish side. Lewandowski for Poland. For Slovakia now, and it's another Inter Milan player this time. We've already obviously had Perisic and Lukaku, but Milan Skriniar. Over the last few seasons, he solidified himself as being one of the best modern defenders in the world, I feel at least. He isn't renowned for his aerial ability, but is extremely comfortable with the ball at his feet from what I've seen of him, which was obviously key amongst all the other players working together to helping Inter Milan really dominate Serie A this season. Nobody really came close to them. And for his national side, from what I've been reading from Slovakia fans saying about him, he has struggled to perform, but he will definitely be an excellent option at the back for them to go for, and he's probably going to be the first name on the team in terms of defenders at least. So Skriniar for Slovakia. Now Spain is up next, and for Spain it has to be another Manchester City player, and that's Ferran Torres, who joined from Valencia for only 20.8 million, is now valued, according to websites I've read on Google, at about 45 million plus. He's only 20, as I said, or I've now finally said. He's played 36 games in all competitions this season in the Premier League and obviously other competitions that Manchester City were involved in, with 13 goals and 3 assists, including, if you watched the game against Newcastle at St James's Park, that beautiful flick he did with his foot, obviously, and that was just... that was a work of art for it to see him do that. And only 20, he can only get better. And he's in my fantasy team, so I hope he delivers the goods. So definitely Ferran Torres for Spain for me. But there was an honourable mention I wanted to bring up, and that was Pedri for Barcelona. The 18-year-old could be one of the first names on Luis Enrique's team sheet. I think used to be the manager of the national side. So, something happened, I think, behind closed doors that he has to go and attend to. But... he has now come back and taken over again, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, as I'm sure someone will. But Pedri now becomes the second youngest player to ever reach 50 appearances for the Catalan club, Barcelona, that is, as he proved that he's the future for the Spanish Giants. And I definitely think he is, from what I've been watching of Barcelona whenever I've watched him. How many more years is Messi realistically going to have? I said, it's going to be a sad day when M2 retire him and Ronaldo, but Pedri is definitely the future for Barcelona, at least. And I've already made 3 appearances for his country. He will definitely be looking to take the Euros by storm this summer in a quite youthful side, and a side actually that has no players from Real Madrid in it, which, wasn't expecting that, but Pedri and Ferran Torres, Pedri being the honourable mention, but it was Torres for me that I wanted to go for, but I could not mention Pedri. And to round off then, Group E, we have Sweden, and I'm going to go with, obviously many people would be expecting to say Ibrahimovic, but he's unfortunately injured for the tournament, so for me it has to be Real Sociedad's Alexander Isak, who has been one of the most exciting attacking forces in La Liga this season, and a lot of that has been down to Isak's skill in front of goal. Sociedad had a good season. I think they finished maybe 5th or something, so good for them, obviously. He netted 17 times of 34 appearances this season, making him clearly one of the more prolific strikers in Spain and La Liga in general. And as I said, with Ibrahimovic out, which is unfortunate, I really wanted to see him play at the Euros again, which might be perhaps one of his last. He's getting on a bit now, isn't he? But the 21-year-old will be the focal point, I feel, of the blue and yellow as forward line. So Isak for Sweden, definitely. If I'm mispronouncing his name wrong, I do apologise for any Isak fans or Swedish fans out there. Group F, or Sociedad fans. France, Germany, Hungary and Portugal, a group of death as it were. I'll start off with Germany, and you might be surprised to see me say this, but I think the standout player to watch for and keep your eye on is Timo Werner. Although he finished the season with Champions League winners' medal, his first year with Chelsea has been a bit of a difficult one as he struggled to really adjust to the different style, I guess, the Premier League to the Bundesliga following his move from Leipzig. Obviously, he had 2 stellar seasons with Leipzig. But has struggled to continue his goal-scoring exploits in London. But a fresh start, I feel, with his national side at the Euros may be exactly what the 25-year-old needs to find his shooting boots again and to have an even better season for Chelsea in the 2021-2022 season. So, Timo Werner for Germany. And I guess the underdogs of the group, really, Hungary. the stand-up player for me, at least, will be Peter Gulaschi. The shopstopper has been immense for his club, RB Leipzig, over the last 6 years, which solidified his place between the sticks for his country, and he's probably one of the first names on the team sheet for sure. His experience will definitely be key for the Hungarians, both on and off the pitch, and he is their vice-captain, and he will need to be in fine form if he wants his country to progress from, as I've said already, and as everyone knows, a very tough group. But you never know, stranger things have happened. Portugal now. And just like Poland, where I mentioned with Lewandowski, it would be wrong to not say Cristiano Ronaldo. And actually, before I talk about Ronaldo in Portugal, an honourable mention I think is definitely worth Dominik Szoboszlai, or Szoboszlai for Hungary. He joined, I think, Leipzig from RB Salzburg. Didn't play that many times. I think he only joined in January, but in terms of honourable mentions, definitely the attacking midfielder for Leipzig. I think it might only be like 20 or something. So yeah, Ronaldo now and Portugal. Even though I think a lot of people can agree with me when I say this, he's ended the twilight of his career. Ronaldo is still one of the deadliest strikers on the planet. And after leaving the bright lights of Real Madrid, he fired Juventus to back-to-back Serie A titles. Obviously couldn't make it 3 in a row because they had a bit of an underwhelming season, as I've mentioned already. But the Portuguese captain will be hoping to add to his astounding 103 goals. And you heard me correctly there, for the national side. And even at the age of 36, he is still a star man that could drag Portugal to a second Euro title win in a row following their success in 2016. So, up next, I will be talking about, obviously, I'm just trying to find my bearings now, France. They should have actually been the first ones I talked about in this group, but I just completely overlooked them for whatever reason. Sorry to any French fans out there, but okay, sure, you might be expecting me to say Kylian Mbappe, but for me, N'Golo Kante is a part of the Euro-winning side this summer. He will have won... Oh, let me restart again. If Kante is part of the Euro-winning title side this summer, he will have won 7 major trophies for club and country in the last 5 years, which is a remarkable feat. After putting on a man-of-the-match performance during the Champions League final, the Frenchman will definitely be looking to bring back another trophy to his homeland following their World Cup win in 2018, obviously. Not 2018. So, yeah, okay, like I said, easy option would be to go for Mbappe, but I think definitely Kante is one that's going to hold the team together, and he's just such a fun player to watch, and he's always got a smile on his face, and it is an infectious smile if you ask me. Now, before I wanted to talk about kits, I wanted to talk about travel distances. So Poland, as it turns out, have almost 9,000 kilometres to travel for their opening 3 group games, and however many more games they'll be involved in if they get out of their group. So they'll be starting off in Russia and then travelling into Spain to obviously play Spain, and then going back to Russia again to play in Russia against whoever it is they're playing. And when you think about, on the flip side, Italy, Denmark, Netherlands, England, and Spain, and Germany don't have to travel at all for their opening 3 games. When we're in the middle of a pandemic, is it really fair? I know, obviously, the Netherlands will be playing theirs at the Amsterdam Arena, or the Johan Cruyff Arena, or Cruyff, as I believe the Dutch pronounce it. I might have mispronounced it, but we move. Yeah, should they really be travelling all that distances in height of a pandemic? I don't know, but I think I just wanted to touch on that, and it'd be interesting to see what other people think about that. But yeah, 9,000 kilometres in just 3 games, Russia to Spain and then back to Russia again for Poland. I think Wales and Turkey have also got quite a ways to go. I think Wales are playing 2 of their 3 group games in Azerbaijan, and I think one of them in Italy at the Olimpico against, obviously, the Italians. So, now I wanted to talk about kits, my top 5 to keep an eye on for the tournament. The first one, for me, has to be the Swedish away kit. The pinstripes on this, and it'll be on the screen now as you're listening. I'm watching the video on YouTube. Yeah, this for me is my favourite one. The pinstripes are beautiful and terrifying all at once against a moody, intense dark blue. Now, I'm not an expert when it comes to describing kits, but that was the best I could think of. And I think the V-neck works well, and the ratio of yellow flashes to the shirt, for me at least, is perfection. And that is a kit that I'm looking forward to seeing on the pitch when Sweden play. So that for me is my number 1 pick for the tournament to keep an eye on. And I will leave a link to all these kits in the description below if needs be, if you want to check them out yourself if you haven't already. Number 2 position then is this one, the Wales away kit, and okay, here come the biased comments, but the yellow for me is just a great colour, but the way the deep green frames the crest, sits on the shoulders and ties in with the Adidas logo even, or Adidas, is just gorgeous. And the only thing I guess that might enhance this kit even further is a flash of green on the sleeves, if you can see that, or the side of the body, but that's just a little criticism really. It is a tremendous kit and definitely overlooked. I think everyone gets hyped about the home kits, but yeah, there's definitely worth showing some love to the away kits for Wales. Third place then, Italy's home kits. The closest thing Italy have made to the 1990 World Cup even kit since 1994. Like, this is the best kit I think since then that they're rocking up to a tournament with. The shirt evokes memories of Roberto Baggio's ponytail and Franco Baresi's half bald head golden days, if you ask me, during the 90s. It's aesthetically clean and has sharp lines, a classic colour palette and a heavy dose of nostalgia, and really what more can you ask from a kit? So props to the Italians, that is a nice kit, and yeah, that is the third place kit for me. And fourth place then is Austria's away kit, the Golden Puma kit, I guess you can call it. It's sponsored by Puma, or has the Puma logo on there. The black, which runs right up to the shoulders and neckline, is a really nice touch. The pattern, which can only be described as, I think, turquoise chandelier, I believe, which is quite specific, I know. It is a beautiful, exquisite, and almost perfect jersey, apart from, as you can see now, the back, which is just completely plain. So that's kind of why it's fourth and not up any higher, because the back is just a bit boring, it is, compared to the front. And to round it off then, the Portuguese kit. The deep red is just beautiful, but it's a flash of green on the trim and on each sleeve down the side, which really elevates the shirt into elite territory for me. And you know, the golden Nike swoosh is a lavish touch, which I also enjoy. You know, the colour of the Nike logo, and it's just a very, very satisfying kit to look at. So looking forward to seeing the likes of Jota, Fernandez, or Penandes if you want to call him that, Ronaldo, rocking up on the pitch with this jersey on. And that will pretty much round up the episode today. It went on for longer than I expected it to, but that's okay. The Euro 2020 final, so mark the date for your diary if you don't know already, will be on Sunday, June the 11th at Wembley. Kickoff will be at 8 o'clock unless that changes from now, and July the 11th. So I think I said that anyway, not June the 11th, July the 11th. That's when the tournament begins, June the 11th, on Friday. So yeah, let me know who you're looking forward to watching on the pitch, who you think is even going to win it all. My money, I think, is on France, but it's anyone's guess, isn't it? I'm hoping Wales go far. They had a really good outing at the Euros last time in 2016, where they got to the semi-finals, I think, but unfortunately fell at the last hurdle to Portugal. But we're 5 years on now, anything can happen. And yeah, if you want to come on and talk about anything yourself, by all means let me know in the comment section below, or messaging me if that's easy for you, on Snapchat, on Instagram, or Messenger. Or if you just want me to talk about a topic, then by all means just let me know, and I'll let you know that, or I'll give you a shout out even, or you told me to talk about this topic like I did last week with my brother, who gave me the idea to talk about all things games. But anyway, thank you for being here. If you're still here, thank you to all that I've shown on the previous episodes, and I'm guessing including this one as well. You're all legends in my eyes and in my book, so I can't thank you enough. This has been Hoca Talk. I will be back next week with another episode of this weekly podcast series. But until then, thank you all for listening. Enjoy the Euros. Hopefully it's a good one, and hopefully Wales can be bringing it home, but time will tell. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you all very soon.